Greetings and welcome to our Sunday 25th of June 2023 live stream. 33 miles to Fort Worth. 10 points to anyone that can tell us what that title may be in regards to. We'll probably cover it in the second part of the stream. I do have one or two particular stories that I will look at before we look at what is 33 miles from Fort Worth. Greetings to Jokerman and Nathan Oakley in the chat. Lovely to see you both. Hope you enjoy the stream. If you stick around till the end, 11:30, we'll see if... Well, we're probably going to have numbers coming up tonight. And... let's see. In the week, I did happen to come across just chanced upon a story about the guy from Bros. I can't know if you know don't know if anyone remembers Bros from the 70s. First of all, going back, one of the videos I made years ago, or at least a couple of years ago, was called Every Fake Pregnancy Must Have One. Let me see, and I did a search for that, because in this particular story that we will look at closer in a second, actually let me just check my audio is playing back, and I'd like to say hello to RJ, who's in the live chat. 33 miles from cathedrals. It's all frequency and energy, as the ancient Tartarians knew. This is a deep rabbit hole. Well, tonight we are going to be looking at something that involves being 33 miles from Fort Worth. Is that a coincidence? I don't know, but it's certainly part of the story. But for now, I just want to, as I said, this story, Matt Goss, I thought, I've got to cover this one tonight, which we will do in a little bit, because, I don't know, is it clearly a fake baby? We come down to, where's that picture? This one, bit out of focus to see it from the start. Of course, these are from their Instagram account, where all these fake stories come from, and we see this. The baby clutching his fingers, and that made me think of this one. If you do a search on Bing for Every Fake Pregnancy Must Have One, my video happens to be the second answer. I mean, it's a bit of an obscure thing to search for. I don't know what that light bulb, YouTube it tells you about. Yes, so we'll quickly click on that, just so you can see what every fake pregnancy must have. Where is it? It's this. The babies always seem to release, on Instagram of course, pictures of babies clutching adult fingers. And that is just one of the things that we are looking at. Anyway, hang on, I just want to show you some more examples. There we go. This is the Bride Bella, Nikki Bella, I don't know. Oh, they're two people from WWE. Someone called Pratt sums it up fairly well, I guess. The Sussexes did it. So yeah, it's just part of their fakery. They love doing it. Good for them. And of course, this one with the guy from Bros shows a picture of it. Now, so as I say, do a search for Every Fake Pregnancy Must Have One. The first one that comes up is something from Healthline. The second is my video, Carry On Going Down, something about Wikipedia, false pregnancy. And then you come to something by the website Grazia Daily. Meghan Markle and the moon bump. Why are so many, as we'll go. Anyway, I saw this. My first thing was, oh wow, are they going to mention my video in this about, because I made a couple of videos about Meghan and her fake pregnancies. So I clicked on it, of course. Grazia, fairly well-known, high-profile news outlet, I guess you could say. Of course, they didn't mention my videos. They didn't put any screenshots up, but they do mention that people have started saying that Meghan faked her pregnancy. Did you know we've got some deep underlying issues? Anyone that happens to say that. But anyway, searches for Meghan Markle's fake bump have increased by over 4,000% in the last 90 days. This is an old article. When's it from? Doesn't even tell us. Oh, 2021 this was. But what's behind our reaction, as in everyone thinks she's faking it, to the royal pregnancy. As we walk out of a 12-week scan, shaking and lightheaded, I turned to my partner and said, "But you know that whole screen could just be a video, the same video they show to everyone. We'd never know." Oh, sorry, Nell, not Nil. Before getting pregnant, I was in the extremely lucky position of having no long-term or ongoing illnesses, physical or mental. You must have stayed away from the doctors then. That's a very good start to not getting diagnosed. But being pregnant threw me into such whirlpools of anxiety that more than once I genuinely wondered if I was pregnant at all. With a kind of uneasy thrill, I read about Queen Mary's phantom pregnancy of 55. Yeah, what about Meghan Markle's phantom pregnancy of 2021? I wonder if the videos that myself and other people made about Meghan will still be out there, or will they, gradually all get deleted and forgotten about. Meanwhile, Meghan giving birth to Archie, totally legit, that'll stay around. Right, East London Birth Centre. Yeah, still wondered if she was having a baby at all. She thought she might be faking it. This is getting slightly off the subject of Meghan faking her pregnancy, but whatever. It was a strange mix of horror, distaste, sympathy and fatigue. Let me zoom in so you can see this article a bit better. My apologies. In particularly dank and unpleasant corners of YouTube. Why are they dank and unpleasant? I think this corner is quite lovely, actually. YouTube, Reddit and the like. Anonymous strangers. Okay, I am, to be fair, anonymous because I don't show my identity and I use a channel name. Have built videos, threads and illustrated essays expanding on the crackpot theory that Meghan Markle is in fact not pregnant, but wearing a strap-on rubber belly. And also they use CGI, but they don't mention that. And has employed a surrogate. I don't believe she employed a surrogate. I think it's still using CGI and fake pregnancy and dolls that they just animate in a very clever way. Yeah, employed a surrogate or is otherwise faking it. Global searches for Meghan Markle fake pregnancy are up 1650 in the last 90 days. I would be curious to see if, what was the term they said? Whether my video comes up, Meghan Markle fake pregnancy. I doubt it, but you never know. We'll try Google, because that's the typical one we use. Oh, Jokerman says there's a song title, 33 Miles to Fort Worth. You can use it if you like. No, that's not it. What was the thing we were searching for? Hang on. My memory's terrible. Meghan Markle fake pregnancy. This is where I forget how to spell her name, of course. I doubt my video will be among this, but you never know. You never know. If I click on videos... No, not at all. The Express, they get their answers in right at the top. Maybe it would have been back in 20 whatever. Although, yeah, okay. So, anyway, going back to the article. This dark corner suggests that Meghan, probably the whole royal family actually, because they do go on to another thing in a minute, which I agree with to a certain extent, but only because people are just repeating what they read in the newspaper. There are two parts to this strange phenomenon. Firstly, Meghan Markle is a woman of colour. Secondly, she is a member of the royal family. The first part is significant. People are saying it because she's not white. They can't bear the thought of the royal bloodline being, just being taken away from white German, I guess. So I believe the royals are mostly supposed to be German or Greek or something. I'm not sure where they come from, but right. A woman of colour. The second part, in every illustration and almost every single pregnancy, or in every tampon, nappy and breast pump advert, just get those words associated with Meghan Markle, just to kind of implant it in your mind that this woman once used a breast pump, once used a tampon, or once used what was the other thing they said? A nappy, changed the nappy. Well, unless she came home in outfit, dressed as Meghan Markle, I don't think he would have changed the nappy, but who knows. Right. Hang on. Let me go back to Grazia. Okay, yeah, in a minute you'll find out what a piece of scum I am for ever suggesting Meghan faked her pregnancy. I will, before we leave tonight, before we go away from this story, actually show you the reason I thought she might have faked the pregnancy. I used a bit of image manipulation. Right. After every NCT class and every medical diagram the woman and her baby are exposed to is white. Okay, yeah, they're saying in Britain we simply are not familiar with the pregnancy and what newborns look like for women of colour. What nonsense. It is a silence created by capitalism, convention and unconscious bias. Unconscious bias because you read it in the newspaper, yet basically always slagging Meghan off and always praising Kate. It's just how the press seem to write their stories. When similar rumours around Beyonce or Serena Williams, it was outright... Yeah, when similar rumours centred around Beyonce or Serena Williams, it was outright racism and loony online conspiracy theories. Oh, aside. Oh, it was the result of people not knowing what a pregnant woman of colour looks like. What? This is ridiculous. It gets more ridiculous in a minute. It's a proper insult on anyone that would dare to make a video questioning Meghan's pregnancy. This becomes dangerous, as we've seen something about UK Confidential inquiry into maternal deaths. I wonder why that was confidential. The chances of death for black women and children are higher. Okay, it's got nothing to do with why Meghan's faking her pregnancy. So they say all these numbers make us so implicit bias. They actively challenge what an anti-racist stance and training. So it's racist to make videos saying it. Finally, the second part is just as important. An actress turned princess. They say she's hidden behind a wall of security and royal protocol, and she's forced to be distant, although she's given all that up now, and I still say it's fake. She is in a vacuum which we can pour every fear, hope, theory and trauma. It doesn't take a huge amount of psychological insight to suggest that those people claiming she's faking her symptoms are, consciously or unconsciously, deeply unsettled and uncertain about their own bodies, fertility, status, intentions and actions. Ouch, that hurt, man. That one cut deep. I am, by all accounts, unconsciously deeply unsettled about my body, about my fertility, status as a human being, and my intentions. That one hurt. Therefore, keep believing in that this couple have got a baby. Let me show you why I said it's a load of crap. Hang on. What did I call... My video was called Is Archie a Doll? Let's see if anything comes up. Nope, still mine doesn't come up. Was that it? I think I would use the word reborn. And here's another video about why people are believing Meghan are lying. It'll be more of the same. Wow, my video is nowhere to be seen. Right, a reborn doll, I think I called it. I made 2 videos about her, actually. Still nothing. Even when I put the exact name in, they don't... I think Bing do. I could be wrong. YouTube certainly do. Oh, Bing search. Is the royal baby, that's what I said. Is the royal baby a reborn doll? There's my one. First answer. If you put in the exact title. Right, I did show something. This is from a photograph of Meghan when she went to Australia and was given all loads of gifts just for being pregnant. Hang on. And I said if you put it in Photoshop, mess around with the lighting, you can see underneath the white dress there's this weird kind of box on top of her stomach. That was my suggestion for why she was faking it. I also mentioned that she had very wide shoulders, etc., etc. So yeah, that was one suggestion. Okay. So, yeah, I was also in the pre-show tonight. We watched an ancient video of mine from 2018 about why I accept the account Genesis gives us of creation. And I mentioned in the chat that I mentioned in that video years ago, I took a study for a few weeks. More than a few weeks. Yeah, I took a study with some Jehovah's Witness elders when I met them by chance, and attended a few of their meetings. Got to hear a lot of their, I even went on. I think every year they take people to where they print the Bibles, and to a place they call Bethel, where the people that write all the literature. I mean, it might well have changed now. I assume they still do it the same way. So, I saw the London headquarters. So I got, quite close to know them. And I do remember, as part of the study, like each week, I think it is, they give you a particular subject. They look at a particular subject. Week 1 is that Earth is definitely spherical and we go round the sun. And I remember talking to the person saying, well, if that's the case, how could the Earth have been built before the sun? And they just said, well, it must be wrong or something. It's a very strange thing for Jehovah's Witnesses to want to teach, although they do call out evolution as being absolute nonsense. But yeah, they're not an organisation. Well, a lot of the people I met, I've got to say, were decent people doing what they thought was right. And they gave up a lot of time for me. They gave me a lot of literature and a Bible. So I've got no complaints, in one regard. But yeah, their teachings are not. I don't agree with them. Let's put it that way. Anyway, back to have a look at the live chat. Susan Byrne, lovely to see you in the chat tonight. Joe Command says they have another gospel. You might be thinking of the Mormons, actually. The Mormons have a book, the Book of Mormons, whereas Jehovah's Witnesses use the 66 books of the Old and New Testament, and on top of that, they take their teachings or their messages straight from the Holy Scriptures, as they call it. But they get God's name wrong because they call him Jehovah and it's Yehovah. There is no J. There was no J back then. So, and there's also some weird link that I heard between the founder of... I've mentioned this so many times, I'm not going to cover it too much. We're going to have a look in a minute at this other fake story that got me onto that, finding that article by Grazia that says I'm uncertain about my body and status or something. I'm not. This one... McFarlane, I did say in the pre-show, I think I said in the pre-show or at the start of the show, we're going to be seeing numbers coming up tonight, including this particular story. By the way, Susan, I'm asking anyone if they know what tonight's title is a reference to, 33 miles from Fort Worth. Did anything happen 33 miles from Fort Worth that we might be talking about tonight? We will have to see. Yeah, I just... did this person's... Yeah, this guy, McFarlane, he was in the news tonight. Not tonight. It was back in the week I saw it, probably Thursday. Just get the numerology calculator up. McFarlane happens to be... Hang on, I'm misspelling that. Where is that? It is a 33 name. I have checked this one already. McFarlane is a 33 in Chaldean. Actually, there's quite a lot of this story being Pride Month, of course, they probably bring out fake baby stories on Instagram. Instagram's absolutely flooded with fake babies. Every month, at least one a month, they must do, probably more. that we're not aware of. And this is the latest one. Being Pride Month, they decided to make it a gay couple that are revealing their new baby. Bros star Luke McFarlane has revealed he's welcomed a daughter with alpine skier Hig Roberts. The actor took to Instagram to share a gallery of snaps cradling the newborn. They always take to Instagram. It is flooded, believe me. Revealing they named their bundle of joy Tess Eleanor McFarlane. As I said, Farland 33 name. Let's see if that number comes up at all anywhere else. In the caption, Luke shared that his daughter was born on June the 4th. But following some hectic days, she was finally brought home from the hospital on Father's Day. By the way, they tied in the fake death of Jade Goody on Mother's Day. That supposedly happened. Didn't something else happen on a Mother's Day? I'm not sure. I can't remember what it was now. Maybe someone gave birth on Mother's Day. I can't remember who it was, but they do like to mark these, buy a card for someone days with a fake pregnancy. They are very popular. Greetings to Skeptic936. Lovely to see you in the chat. And Joker Man's been doing a lot of drumming and clapping. I'd love to hear it, Joker Man. I do like the drums. Okay, her dad's, of course, we are Gay Pride Month. And can't wait to introduce her to all the remarkable people I saw. Anyway, what are we looking for? 33s. See the cap? Double CC, back-to-back CCs. Of course, C is a 3, so you've basically got 2 3s on his head. There we go again. What else? I'm sure there was some more. Hang on one sec. Let me just find... What was the other things it was about him? His Instagram account. If we go on Instagram, we get to see some more interesting symbology. Here we go. 10 minutes younger, as the account's called. I don't know what that's a reference to. But yeah, he's done his fake pregnancy story. He hasn't actually put much on. By the way, we've had 33s in this. We get to see a couple of 20. We get a 22 on the poster that he's leaning on. Also, Story Rain. Is it Story Rain? I think that's the 23. Oh, it's Story and Rain, actually. Yeah, maybe it isn't that one. Okay, got that wrong. Story and Rain is indeed not a 23 or anything. But yeah, whoever's Story and Rain, it's just someone he happens to be promoting. Okay, this image, we will get to see a bit more symbology, not necessarily numbers, but yeah, they always manage to find very empty hospitals. Now, to be fair, hospitals can be quite empty places, so this couple of minutes of him holding a pram is all it takes. There is, of course, the fake hand holding the baby. In fact, I do want to get a shot of that for the scrapbook, because I am compiling all the celebrities that do these same photos. Should I take the whole tweet? Yeah, I might as well. Yeah, so gay dads all round. And what was the other image? Just a couple of things I noticed about this particular video. Again, he's got his 33 hat on, CC. In the background, is this clutching? I'm not sure. You've got a sun symbol on the wall and on the floor. Just maybe that's the hospital they're at. They like to worship the sun. Who knows? Also, above the lift, again, clutching a little bit. As above, so below symbology. A couple of things. We'll scroll down his account. And... well, yeah, he's a typical gay superhero, as it were. I'm not sure. They've got the square in. A lot of people, isn't that a Masonic symbol, the square? Also, broken. It would be a broken pentagram with a few extra dashes in it because they've kind of broke the pentagram. Either that or say, let's see, 8-sided star. It all looks a bit symbolic for me. Yeah, and this guy just happens to have had a successful career with Bros. I'm not sure if we look for Bros, will we see any of the usual symbols and, you know, typical gestures that all the musicians seem to do. Skeptic says, I wish you lived near me in Cali. People keep giving me buds and I don't smoke anymore. Oh, right, that's a reference to Joker Man, is it? And thank you, Skeptic, for reminding people to hit the like button. Yeah, that's it is much yeah, very much appreciated if anyone wants to hit the like button. Wow, there's only 2 photos of Bros. No, there's not much more. I'm guessing somewhere on the album cover we would have seen some kind of symbology, but just from what we're seeing here, not too much. Was one called Matt Goss or something? We'll just do a search for Matt Goss. I know this is going way off subject from the McFarlane guy, but I just want to see if we see him covering his eye or anything. Don't they look good for their age? Barely know they'd you would, yeah. You'd think they were like, I don't know, they just look incredibly fake. I'm sure he's got a very vibrant Instagram account as well. Whether they've added babies to it, I'm not sure. Skeptic says says we incrementally then exponentially how we grow channels. Do you know what I was talking about? My video about Harry and Meghan and Wood Grazia. I've shown a picture of it. At the time, it was, you know, one of the few videos I put out that actually got a lot of attention, and that was because people were sharing it in some. There was one guy, and he put it on every video he found of Cliff Richard singing "Living Doll." He said he put a link to that video I made, and someone else put it. I don't know. Yeah, sharing and thumbing up is 100% the only way a channel's, maybe of this type, who knows, is ever really going to get seen by anyone, I think. But whether or not I only get 3 or 4 people tune in, or we got 8 with us tonight, that's wonderful. Yeah, I'm just grateful someone out there, you know, some of you out there want to take the time to listen to my Sunday evening exploration into the fakeness of the mainstream media. Right, after it's only 10:30, we could talk about yeah, there's a couple of subjects we could cover before we go on to 33 miles from Fort Worth. It is another, it's a nasty story basically, that came out. And again, are we going to see any of the numbers come up? Do numbers have a great deal of meaning in these stories? Is it just a coincidence that this guy, Luke McFarlane, happens to have a surname that has a 33 on it? What that would lead me to believe is, I'm guessing actually that's his stage name. I doubt very much Luke McFarlane's his real name. I'm not sure. I also would doubt very much like Matt Goss would have been his real name. Let's see. He's called Matthew Weston Goss. So, okay, yeah, maybe it is his real name then. Who knows? I'm tempted to look at his Instagram account, but I'm not going to kill you with that. Speaking of killing, did anyone come across this story on the... Oh, what? It didn't come out today, surely. 25th of June? Exclusive. Girl 12, who shot her father before killing herself in botched murder pact with a friend after they plotted to kill their families and pets and run away together, is pictured for the first time posing with guns alongside her dad. What do we think about this story? Is it any of the usual fear-mongering, anti-gun anti-gun stories that seem to come out? My opinion, are these stories really to ban guns? I'm going to say no, they're not. I have said countless times, if they want to stop people shooting each other, you don't ban the guns, you just ban the bullets. Homemade bullets, maybe they're out there, but if you crack down on, most people probably don't have the facilities to make bullets for a lot of these guns that they now make. Who knows? But yeah, you want to disable an AR-15 rifle or whatever, then just stop making the bullets and keep people buying the weapons that get publicised every time a story like this comes out about someone killing their entire family or shooting up a school. And of course, her dad, as we're going to find out in this story, was an absolute gun nut. Yeah, a school. Apparently this happened back in September 2022, so it's by far from a recent incident. I'm not sure if it got any news coverage, because as I constantly say, I really don't keep up with the news. I'm not sure. Skeptic asks, do I have a PayPal link? Yes, I do actually, Skeptic. I have sent it to you before. And there's probably something going on along the bottom of the screen, where I offered to give my PayPal by if you email me, bobbyzones.com. But yeah, I've already got you on PayPal, so I will maybe give you a nudge on there just so you can, if you're looking to show your appreciation, which I always massively thank anyone for doing. Anyway, where are we? A pre-planned murder pack in Texas, around 30 miles from Fort Worth. Emma shot herself in the head and died in hospital 2 days later. Always, these stories are absolutely disgusting. Is it that this is just a story that happened, and because it ties in with a current narrative that gets pushed, they cover it and give it, round the world coverage? I mean, 12-year-old girls dying is absolutely unfortunate, but it does happen. Right. Yeah, but how often do these people that end up in such terrible situations have photos like this printed and bought by the Daily Mail? Right, let's see. The 7th grade student, just shows you how ridiculously young they are, had plotted to kill her entire family, pets, along with another 12-year-old. It's unclear how they met. Apparently it was a botched suicide attempt. The district attorney's office confirmed that the second girl, who had not been identified, was charged with conspiracy to commit murder. Right, the numbers are going to come up. Remember what I've said about kids who appear in, young people that have an unfortunate demise are often photographed with white rabbits. Now here we've got a grey cat, but don't give up on seeing a white rabbit a rabbit at least. She was unable to give details of the sentence handed to the girl. What? A spokesman was unable to give details of the sentence handed to the girl because of Texas state law protecting the identity of juveniles. Right, okay. The charge was not dismissed. The allegations were fully prosecuted. I'm guessing it never went to court. Right. Let me just say, Brown died 2 days after shooting herself. Yeah, we've already read that. And then she planned to drive 230, get that 23 in, miles to pick up her POW before driving to Georgia. We'll get the numerology calculator out again. What was the girl's name? Let me just find it. I can never remember. names, I'm terrible for them. Emma Brown. Right, where are we? Numerology. Emma Brown is a... Okay, it's a 36 then. It's not a 23. But yeah, they get a 36 in with the name Emma Brown. Maybe one of the others was... we'll check some of the other names, actually. Lufkin. What was that one? That was the name of the other person that was meant to be involved in it, I think. That is a... Okay, 25, 28, that wasn't it. And... yeah, this is... They also made a point of mentioning... Where was it? I'm not sure if we're going to see it on this, because it was underneath a photo. Right, the emergency services can be heard. So they've got recordings of the emergency services. Officers later discovered lying on a dirt road. And very soon after, the family home appeared to have installed a gate at the front of the property with a no trespassing sign. Yeah, I bet they put that up on not long after. Right, it's an awful tragedy. Her parents didn't know anything about the other girl. They still don't. And then they go on about FFL licenses. I'm not in the United States, of course. I don't really know what the situation is with guns. I mean, I know what I hear on the news. I know what I hear other YouTubers talk about. But guns just aren't really part of my life, so... But of course they're out there. We did have the police for a very rare time back in 2017, what started walking up and down the streets holding firearms. They kind of looked like they were made out of plastic or rubber. Who knows? Jeff Gashead, lovely to see you in the chat. Thanks for tuning in. Skeptic says, I recommend you don't believe anything on TV. Yeah, 100%. Assume it's a lie unless you can prove for yourself otherwise. And there was a recent school shooting in Nashville. My brother and family live less than 2 blocks from the school, and it was closed 3 years ago. Yeah, that sounds kind of... Of course, there was another big high-profile shooting in the United States. Not Newtown. Yeah, it was called Newtown. And again, this place was called Poolville. I noticed a lot of these... Hang on, can we bring it up on the maps? Oh, hang on, let's see. If I just go back to the original Daily Mail post, they make a strange... Yeah, Emma Brown shot Daniel Brown in the abdomen at their home in Poolville, Texas, around 30 miles from Fort Worth. And I thought, I wonder just how far it really is from Fort Worth. I'll just bring up something a second. I think I've got the measuring line. Let me see, can I still find it? What did I do with it? I believe I saved it. The distance. There we go. Okay, typical. They've taken my measuring line away. I did measure the different distance. Now, from the very tip of Poolville to the... Where is Poolville? Yeah, these places always have these... Poolville, Texas. Like in Connecticut, as I say. Not a very imaginative name. Where is it then? Poolville, where is it? Okay, this isn't loading very well. I'll just go onto Google Maps. Oh, actually, I probably don't want to show my location. I mean, I'm not that worried, but yeah, just let me black me screen again, just in case it like comes up directly pointing at my home. I mean, if people want to come and visit me, they're more than welcome. Just let me know beforehand that you're coming. Like, don't try and find my address by... I'll try not to give my address away, just because it's a smart thing to do online. I don't know if anyone ever really wants to... Yeah, I remember once in the chat people used to say, oh, would you ever do a meet-up? And if I did ever do a meetup, it would be at the, oh, what's it called? Somewhere in, oh yeah, there we go. I knew it would do that. Right. Oh, just as well I hid my screen. I actually forgot that I hid my screen there. Hang on, let me find Poolville. Poolville, Texas. I'm not going to bore you by well, you can see it if you want. If you go from the very tip of Nashville, look what is in this place. It's literally deserted. There's like nothing to it. How do I change the view so I can actually see? Here we go. Right, yeah, Poolville is a couple of streets and about 3 houses. And I guess they must have a pool there somewhere, or it wouldn't have got called Poolville, surely. Well, we got a one stop in our local town. Yeah, Poolville is ridiculously small. Apparently people talk about when they drive through, I don't know, Newtown, Connecticut. I did read in comments on like YouTube videos about the place and how they're often like sworn at by locals and they're just made to feel very unwelcome. Although there are places like that in the United Kingdom, there's a place quite close to me called Laycock. Absolutely beautiful. But you walk through the high street and you get the impression that you're kind of in the wrong place sometimes. Although they do welcome tourists to a certain part, but I don't know. Yeah, Laycock, I remember they had a turkey that just ran around the neighbourhood, lived there. Absolutely beautiful thing. Right, do you want me to do a measuring line? It's from the very tip of... The layers are easier like this now. Of Poolville, which I believe is somewhere around here. Measure distance to the very tip of Fort Worth is bang on 33 miles. I can't see anything on this. Where are we? Goodness me, they don't make it easy. Bridgeport, I think it's in that area. Goodness knows, I'm struggling with this. Yeah, it's I do have a picture actually. The picture we use in the thumbnail is legit. It is bang on 33 miles between Poolville and Fort Worth. So that is a reference for tonight's story. Thumbnail, I should say. Right, where are we? Okay. Oh, by the way, yeah, someone left a comment on one of my videos asking me if I'd heard about... Who was that? Let me see if I can find that in a minute. I think it was a comment. Let me see. Maybe not. Oh, yeah. It was Jackie Sharp, a regular contributor to the comment section. Have you seen Brendan Cox's new wife-to-be? Was in the mail yesterday, some of the comments. So I thought, brilliant. I want to see that. Jeff says I use my TV for YouTube. I don't blame you. That is... Yeah, we've still got a BT Vision box, which is like a pay for... Well, you don't... You pay for... You basically get a recorder, so you can record live TV. You don't get to keep it like you used to on videotapes anymore. But yeah, I don't blame you for just using your TV for YouTube nowadays. And Jokerman says, have you heard the Chili Peppers song, Throw Away Your Television? Yes, I certainly have heard that one. It talks about it being a repeat of a story told. A lot of these stories are repeats. Yeah, this is the Daily Mail, so I wanted to follow Jackie's suggestion. Not only look at the story, but try and look at some of the comments, although they do often shut the comments off. Hang on, we'll take it to an easier view to see. We're delighted for them. Brendan Cox's new in-laws to be say they can't wait for his wedding 7 years after his MP wife Jo Cox was murdered. What do you think Jo Cox is? That happens to be a 23. Yeah, the numbers that seem to come up an awful lot: 23, 30, 23, 26, 33 and 36. They're ones that seem to have relevance, but dual numbers left, right and centre always seem to show up in these. Okay. Right, the news is welcomed by Ms. Ryder's parents with her mother Anne, saying we're delighted for them. Does anyone not remember the Jo Cox incident? I would compare it to what happened to Gabby Gifford in the United States of America. The difference being, Gabby Gifford recovered. I'm not sure what Gabby was campaigning. I think, again, Gabby Gifford was a get rid of guns campaigner, along with her astronaut husband. What a hero. He helped her. You know the story. I'm sure you know it better than me. Well, here in the United Kingdom, we had a do we leave Brexit? Everyone was supposedly very passionately either pro-Brexit or anti staying in Europe. Did I vote in that? This happened right around the time I was getting to the point where I was thinking, no, news can't really be that deceptive. It can't be that every big story is full of crap. By the way, Orange Top 33, of course, numerology. And this is a snapshot of a photo. If you see the whole thing, see if anything doesn't quite look right about this one. This is the new wife. This is the guy here. Joe's wife. Do you know what? I know it's not really that important. The digit ratio. Now, when hands are at different angles, no, I'm not saying anything about this guy. I don't know. When you lean your hand in certain ways or tighten a tendon, it can make your fingers different lengths. So, right. I want to read the comments to this. I wonder what people are saying in it. The comments have been moderated. His new in-laws are supporting the wedding. Of course they do. What's news about this? I feel sorry for the parents. Good luck to them. Non-story. I wonder if they've got rid of any, which might have suggested that shouldn't it be Joe's family's blessing that mattered? Well, no, not really, because he's not marrying into that family anymore. Yeah, I'm guessing the comments that Jackie was talking about have probably been moderated. But yeah, let's see if yeah, let's we could look at Jo Cox again. Another story that happened just around the time where I was becoming highly suspicious of the mainstream. Basically, I accepted that they weren't being honest about certain things, that their main motive wasn't really to tell the truth. I just couldn't believe the depth of it, I guess you could say. Right, I want to start closing some thumbnails or things won't load up. Yeah, when we come back from our intermission, we have got a video of mine from... we'll either have a look at Jo Cox or another one that, as I said, I was kind of just at that time, but it happened a bit earlier, was Lee Rigby. Absolutely nasty, either way you look at it. Here we could watch Brendan Cox talking about marrying his... It's only 58 seconds, or I don't know about the full video, but yeah, we'll watch a couple of minutes of this. We will be going to our intermission in a second, see if he says anything bizarre. anything that might make us think, that doesn't make sense. Anna Ryder. I haven't done that name yet. Anna Ryder. Anna Ryder's a 26 and a 46. Yeah, so it's a 26. There's that number again. Right, what's he got to say for himself? They'll probably make us watch an advert or something. Of course they do. This thing they're advertising does look quite cool though. It's like a wood burner, I think. If it's... well, who knows? Maybe it's something different I'm looking at. Goodness me, not another one. Yeah, Skeptic mentions... oh, hang on. Is it all just going to be still images again? Yeah, Skeptic mentions space being the being made in a Hollywood basement sang by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yeah, they weren't... do you think they're told? Do you think that's lines they personally come up with? Or are they told? Is this how, like... yeah, I've heard it said that one of the codes of practice for these fake stories is they have to put the truth out there in one form or another. In the most unlikely of places, sometimes they will give you the truth. They'll sneak it in an episode of, I don't know, Family Guy or EastEnders or anywhere, or in a film, but they will tell you the truth eventually. Right, I'm absolutely going off track now. Okay, here's the interview with Brendan. Let's see if he said anything odd.
A friend of ours tragically lost their husband, and we talked about it at the time.
Right.
Lorraine Kelly, of course, she has interviewed every single fraud. Every big name fraud, probably. Well, not everyone, but a huge amount of them. From, so-called, like, Pulse, members of Pulse, the Pulse nightclub shooting. I think she interviewed a load of them. All the people I've called out as faking their pregnancies or faking the illness of their babies. Every one of them is sat in front of Lorraine.
About what would we do if one of us ever died, and yeah, we were both of the view that, I think Joe remember saying at the time, you should get married the next week.
Isn't that convenient that Joe and her husband had that conversation? What about if one of us randomly gets killed along the way as part of our, work campaigning for something? Because Mrs. Cox was a passionate campaigner, and that's why we all loved her so much, and that's why it was such a tragedy that she lost. Such a tragedy that the mainstream press was saturated with it. It did, of course, push the idea that anyone that voted to leave Europe was slightly unhinged or were extremists. Yeah, here we go. Labour MP, although we haven't got the picture up for some reason, was shot and stabbed to death by a far-right extremist in 2016. Yeah, I made this channel in 2017, so yeah, this was one of those stories I was starting to become where I was suspicious of it. The first one I actually made a video about was the London Bridge, or whatever it was called. That channel got taken down. Okay, the couple are believed to have met years ago. Oh, we're watching the interview, aren't we?
Kind of thing, but that... So I never had any... I always knew that she would want that.
Of course.
But, of course, then I also, as you said, I never sort of thought it would happen, because when you lose someone like Joe, you never think you'll find somebody with the energy.
Have you noticed his ears stick out quite a bit? Just thought I would mention that.
And the love and the enthusiasm, the excitement that Joe had, and...
Look at those ears.
I'm incredibly lucky that...
Oh, I'm so pleased for you. I hope you have a beautiful day. And the children as well. How are they doing?
Yeah, good.
They're good?
Yeah, no, they're on really good form. In fact, they... I was asking them, before I asked Anna to marry me, I said,
get the orange. I know life jackets are generally orange anyway because of visibility, but just a good opportunity to get a couple of orange
think about
things.
Asking Anna to marry me, what do you think? And I think their response was, you're never going to do any better than Anna, which I think was supposed to be a nice thing and a compliment. But...
Right, that's that video done. I'll have a quick look at the chat before we go to an intermission. Jeff says, they have to tell you the truth, so it's your fault, not theirs. Yeah, fair point, actually. I know what you're saying. If they've made you aware, then they've admitted, you know, I know what you're saying. Relieving themselves of their responsibility. West Coast guy, lovely to see you in the chat. Thanks for tuning in. Maybe it's just mockery, you say. True. And Jeff says they believe in karma. One thing's for sure, whether they have to do it, whether they do have to reveal that they're lying, in so many cases they do. They just do it. They bring it out. Okay, we are going to take a quick 5-minute break, and then when we come back, we will carry on live streaming until about 11:30, at which point my ability to function a YouTube live stream software falls to bits. So we do need to finish about 11:30. Before we do, I would like to thank West Coast Guy, Joker Man, Jeff Gashead, Skeptic 936, and Nathan Oakley, Susan Byrne also, and RJ for commenting in the chat tonight. If anyone else has tuned in and wants to say hi, it is always great to see you. Yeah, West Coast Guy looks like a new name. I'm not sure if I've seen you in our chat before. So if it's the first time you're tuning in, I hope you enjoy what you're watching. Yeah, I would let you know if you would like to show your appreciation for tonight's video. Before you do leave, if you'd be so good as to hit the thumbs up button, that is great. Subscribe if you want to catch anything future from me, and sharing on social media is pretty much the only way my content will be seen by anyone else. Right, yeah, another way you can support me is by following me over on Patreon. If you want to make a monthly pledge, there is Cash App, although I'm not sure if it works. So yeah, and if you want my PayPal details, as Skeptic mentioned a bit earlier, just give us an email, bobbysigns@gmail.com. That is not my PayPal thing, but I will let you know. But as I say, yeah, I massively appreciate you just tuning in. I don't want anyone to ever feel obliged. You know, I make these videos for myself as much as anything. But yeah, your appreciation is always wonderful. Okay, I'm going to leave you with a quick video. I know it's getting late now, it's 11 o'clock, so if you're not, well, here in the UK it is. If this is your time to finish... Oh, hang on, before we go, I've got to thank those of you that do actually support me. Let me see. Linda Mac and Joker Man, thanks for supporting me over on Patreon. Thanks, as always, also to Nathan Oakley, Skeptic 936, Sunstar Thunder Lightning, and Chris Brown for their support of this channel. And as I said, yeah, links to any of those stuff are in the description for tonight's video. Okay, I'm going to leave you this video. Bryn Gringus and Meghan Markle body doubles. I was asked to make this video for someone. Well, I was asked my opinions on it. I kind of got the wrong end of the stick, what they were saying. I thought they were asking, do I think Bryn and Meghan are body doubles? They weren't actually saying that. It was something to do with their child. But yeah, this is my video. Is it possible Bryn, who I'd never heard of, and Meghan Markle could be played by the same actor? Okay, it goes on for 7 minutes, so I do hope you're still with us at the end of it. Okay, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in about 7 minutes. Hi everyone, on my last live stream, the YouTuber Some Girls made a comment asking me to take a look at the claims some people are making that Meghan Markle and CNN presenter Bryn Gringus could be one and the same. We did have a quick look at it that night. I know Some Girls doesn't agree. I did accept there were certainly some similarities between these people, And the purpose of this video is to respond to that suggestion and have a proper look. Now, I'm certainly of the opinion that members of the British royal family do play other roles. We've seen Prince Charles has a striking resemblance to the Rolling Stones guitarist Keith Moon. I mean, ridiculously similar. Others suggest that one of the Rothschild looks like Prince Edward. You can draw your own conclusions on that. This video, we're going to look at Meghan and Bryn. Now, one method is to overlay one person's face on top of the other. That's what I've done here with Meghan and Bryn, just to see how closely the features match. It's always really difficult to get them find a picture of them doing exactly the same pose, but I've lined these pictures up as best I can. You can draw your own conclusions on this. Certainly doesn't give you a unanimous answer. It's pretty subjective on whether you think these features match exactly. And this isn't the only thing we'll be doing. We'll be looking at other aspects to see how similar Meghan and Bryn are. One thing's for sure, they do certainly look similar. Their faces match pretty well. They've certainly got very similar hair. One thing that will come up is that their skin tone is not the same, however. They've got a very different complexion, although I don't actually believe that the colour of Meghan's skin is real. I think that is just makeup mostly. They've certainly got different teeth. They've got different noses, but again, all this can be done with prosthetics, false teeth. You have to draw your own conclusions. We are going to move on from this, compare their voices to see how similar they are. Quick piece of trivia. Can you identify which one of the two this is talking?
Not only are you running for a great cause, but you're also getting pumped up with everybody and running behind people that have on their t-shirts running in memory of. And so it just gives you motivation to keep running, because there's so many people out here who have a purpose and a reason for running this race. Okay,
if you didn't guess that one, then this next one should be a bit of a giveaway as to who is who.
Just a choice, right? I think that very early on, when we realized we were going to commit to each other, that we knew we had to invest the time and the energy and whatever it took to make that happen. And
perhaps you got that. The first one was Bryn, the second one was Meghan. We can actually now hear them talking and see them at the same time, whether that changes anything. About their diction, about how they pronounce words, about how their mouth moves. Of course, they don't sound identical. Got different accents for sure, but a good actress will be able to change the sound of her voice. So let's first of all start with Bryn talking, and we'll immediately compare it after with Meghan.
Everybody was a little cold. It was a little colder this year, but that was what was more exciting, because we were all getting pumped up and excited to.
so yes, with the filming schedule, it was not the easiest, because it of course included a lot of travel back
Together and staying warm. And then of course, once you just start running and you look around Yankee Stadium, it's just the most exciting run. I love this run.
I think I can very safely say, as naive as it sounds now, having gone through this learning curve in the past year and a half, I did not have.
So the next feature worth taking a look at is the ears. People say that you can identify people specifically from the ears, and as we see, initial quick look would say they look similar, certainly not identical. If you take a close up, you can see both ears seem to point back in the same angle, but actually the inner parts are very different. Although the lobe part joins to the cheek the same way as each other. It's not conclusive, of course. Prosthetics, a good theatrical makeup artist could easily alter someone's ear. Whether they could do it to that extent, you'll have to be the judge of that. Now finally, we are going to look at their date of birth, ages, heights, weights, etc. We look at their age, we can see both very close. Meghan is listed as 39 years old and born on the 4th of August 1981. I believe she was born in Florida, while Bryn is listed as 38, her date of birth being May the 12th, 1982. So again, very close in age. Their height, both listed as 5'7", and although it is worth pointing out that they always seem to lie about the height of members of the royal family. I don't know if they lie so much about CNN reporters, who knows, I'm not familiar with them. Finally, it would be worth looking at their weight. Meghan is estimated to be about 61 kilograms or 134 pounds, while Bryn is 64 kilos, which is about 141. So again, very close. Although, having said that, you could look at that either way, in that when they do try, and in my experience, people who I believe are playing the same role, they generally tend to lie about their statistics, and they'll make it appear that there's, say, a good few years between them, they're different heights and weights, they're different ages, but in this instance they've got them both very close. Good piece of evidence.
We took LGB and then we added LGBTQIA+++, and then we included men who dress up like women and mock women. It's okay if you're proud of your sexuality, but why do I have to be proud of your sexuality?
Why are you so triggered by a flag? It's a rainbow flag.
I'm not triggered by a rainbow flag. I'm triggered by the fact that everywhere I go for a calendar month, everything has to be a rainbow flag.
Well, I'm triggered that everywhere I go for the entire year, everything has to be straight. Why is straight?
Where's my straight flag?
Why am I constantly
Where is
straight?
my straight flag? When have you ever seen a straight flag? Where's my straight flag? It's everywhere. There's never been a straight flag.
Both of you are straight, and you're saying you're exhausted.
How do you know I'm straight? How dare you guess my straight flag?
Like, let's not play games here.
How many letters are there now?
That's such a pointless question.
How many are there?
I don't even know.
How many are there?
I don't need
Exactly
to know.
my point.
I don't need to know because it's not about
There are so
letters.
many letters now, we can't keep up with
It's
it.
not.
We took LGB and then we added, we took LGB.
My apologies for that interruption in the sound, and I hope it wasn't going on too long. Yeah, I was just saying, Skeptic mentioned how we won't be able to... Oh, didn't want that up. How we won't be able to trust TV soon. And, yeah, I do a few things on TikTok. And one of the things I actually did a search for, I'll bring it up now, what am I doing? I'm all over the shop. Right, I get like this after 11. That's why I do have to finish at 11:30. I did a search for fake babies. Could not believe some of what came up. Some of the videos on here on TikTok of people with fake babies and just how real they look, and how, you know, they even, some of them even have opening eyes, and some of it is CGI as well. Where are they? There was a couple that had one. A lot of them look like really sick pranks. A lot of people do really horrible pranks with these fake babies, like, you know, just disgusting things. I just don't know where they get the mentality for it. It looks like it looks like, have you ever seen that Beatles album cover where they're covered with dolls all chopped up? I mean, what sick, warped mind would ever consider doing this? Yeah, the reason I was looked for fake babies is I have put a few images up on there. I think a couple of my videos have finally got some likes, which is unusual, but yeah, got 2 likes over on TikTok. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm not familiar with TikTok. I don't know if you can look at your past history, like at the videos you've watched. I can't actually find a way. But yes, what's one or two of the videos I came across on here was just incredible. Yeah, some of these videos asking why do people have fake babies, and as I said, Instagram absolutely saturated with this sort of stuff. Where did it come from? Why did I for some reason when I was looking at this, I ended up on Sally Di Never's Instagram account. I think it was this one. Now, I'm not necessarily saying this is not a real baby, or that Sally Weird Ears Die Never gave birth. But the character is a bit, yeah, just a bit of an odd character. What was I did come across someone's account. Who was I searching for? It wasn't 10 Minutes Younger. I think it was another Coronation Street star, Righty, that's it, Mark Wright. And they had images up of not their baby, but a cousin, I think, or something. How do we get rid of this? Come on. Where was it? It was in the news, and I mean, look at this. Lovely seeing this yesterday. Does that not just look exactly like what we just saw on TikTok? I'm going to get one for the scrapbook on this one. Actually, yeah, this would make a good one for the quiz. So I'm going to save that. Yeah, I'm not sure if I don't think they've done their own fake babies, this particular couple. I bet there's more of it. Yeah, which would make this video CGI. Yeah, there's usually some giveaways. I mean, maybe every so often they do actually film real kids, but I do think most of these celebrity Instagram accounts are always, yeah, generally staged, I'd say. They always mess with the speed, almost like they can't get the speed up together. This one here of, what was that woman's name? I can't even remember what she's called now, but she was in Coronation Street a while ago. The things they tend to get a bit wrong are the hands. I mean, look at that baby's fingers, come on. What is he, Edward Scissorhands' long-lost son? You must be joking. For me, they look a bit long, that's all I'm saying. They look a bit pasted on. You'll have to be the judge of that. And again, it just doesn't quite look right to me. That baby is... Oh, they've moved the hands around. It does actually change. I was going to say it doesn't, but yeah. We finally met our premature warrior, Dustin. He's perfect, so worth the wait. The way they talk about it, like, oh, it's worth the wait, almost like they were waiting for it to be delivered or waiting for it to be made by the factory. It's, yeah, I think they're his nephews. But yeah, you're absolutely right. CGI fakery, it is already at a point where I think it takes, you have to certainly, you know, you have to look for certain things. My midweek stream, which was actually about, can you, you know, how can you how can you spot fakes? And what it comes down to, I think you maybe get the opinion that, oh, look at that baby, what's wrong with it? Come on, look at those eyes. I mean, some babies look weird, I agree, but really? It kind of annoys me. It's like look at that black line. What's going on? It's like just a crap, shoddy, a shoddy attempt at Photoshop, and it annoys me. It does actually wind me up seeing this sort of things. Because many people would look at that and say, oh wow, what, you know, must be the perfect human being with their perfect families and their perfect pregnancies where they can lift weights during pregnancy, and it must make people miserable as sin. Again, more fakes. In my opinion, it's another fake, but you'll have to judge that for yourself. They like posing with these babies, and I don't know. What do you reckon? CGI much? Or it kind of looks like Yeah. For some reason, I get a bit stuck on it. It's one of those things. Right. Skeptic says, did you all know that during the Blitzkrieg in World War II, Arnold S., his father, was the highest ranking Nazi in Austria? Wow, no, I did not know that one. I'm going to have a look at Arnold Schwarzenegger's dad. But it kind of doesn't surprise me. Gustav Schwarzenegger. Let's see, what did he do? Let's have a look. Right. Okay, this is AI. We talked about. He was a police officer, postal instructor in Austria. He served in World War II as part of the Feldgendarmerie. And he voluntarily joined the Nazi Party in 38 or 39 and was awarded the Iron Cross for his service. Arnold Schwarzenegger asked Simon Wiesel Center to investigate his father's role in the war. The investigation did not find evidence that linked Gustav to the SA or the SS, the Nazi Assault Division or the Elite. Yeah, I'm sure that's what they ended up telling us, but right, I don't know why I wanted to do a proper Bing search. Let's try again. But yeah, it blatantly says he did indeed join the Nazi Party. Obviously, if you click on Wikipedia, you'll just get exactly the same answers. I notice it says Arnold Schwarzenegger spoke out against anti-Semitism. What is a Semite? Have you ever actually searched for that? A member of any of the peoples who speak or spoke a Semitic language, in particular Jews or Arabs. So it's anyone talking against people of a particular language. It's I mean, it's the furthest thing from, I don't know, it just seems a bit odd. It's a kind of the wrong, an obsolete term for an ethnic, cultural or racial group. So it's just an out-of-date way of saying racism, anti-Semitic. To be an anti-Semite is an old-fashioned way of calling someone racist. Is Judaism a race? I don't think it is. I believe it's a belief system. I don't know. And Skeptic says, avoid the CNN post. I'm guessing they're all posts are going to say exactly the same thing, and probably any actual truth or any suggestion about Arnold Schwarzenegger's dad being anything other than someone that, you know, innocently joined the Nazi Party. We'll have a look. Arnold Schwarzenegger's fam Nazi rank. Let's not give up completely. We did hear earlier that Grazia said anyone that, you know, questioned Meghan's pregnancy, Meghan and Harry's pregnancy, was, I think they basically called you racist. They said you've got issues with your own body. And I expect the CNN post probably says pretty much IB Times. He voluntarily joined the party. So yeah, he was. Yeah, I can't see anything which particularly says about his rank, but it's certainly come up. Oh, was he a powerful Nazi? Well, I guess he joined them for power, yes. I guess it was because he wanted to be powerful. He wouldn't have joined it because he, say, thought a lot of their policies, I don't know, their foreign policy, for example. Who knows? Skeptic says, I innocently joined the Flat Earth Society back in the day. Do you know what? I never joined it, but I did come across it. Of course, like anyone, you do a search, and that back in 2017, 16, whatever, it would have been the first things that come up if you look for it. Second only to the video by Vsauce. I think that was the first thing I came across, where they suggested gravity still would act as a force pulling people in. Load of bollocks. But and I remember going to a forum, and they would make such ridiculous arguments about people claiming that they had stars in the south, or there were no stars above Australia. It was such a ridiculous thing, and I tried to join the forum, but it wouldn't let me. The sign up was shut down. I don't know. Yeah, stay away from. But at least you can admit it, Skeptic. Lovely to see Tone Dial. And Jeff Gashead mentioned stop the food supply and it would be chaos very quickly. Yeah, that is really unfortunate in that we've all got it around us. Well, I imagine, certainly in my part of the world, the growing of food and our own supplies are literally within reaching distance of all of us, but we are so dependent on Tesco's or the local shop, and the most annoying thing now for me, I have noticed, like electricity or heating, gas supplies, for example, houses no longer built with chimneys, meaning you've got no choice but to sign up to an energy company unless you use something like, those big red gas cylinders, but you're still paying a large corporation for your, right, we are getting close to 11:30, so we are going to start wrapping things up shortly. Skeptic's going to try and find a link. That's great, thank you. And Jokerman says he's been in a cult. Yeah, I mentioned earlier on about I took a Bible study with Jehovah's Witnesses. I wouldn't call them a cult, but I did mention in the live chat earlier, the very first thing that one of the very first things that comes up in the lessons, I think they give you a video to watch and it tells you how the Bible clearly tells us Earth is a spherical object that goes around the sun, and they say that the expanding universe is proof of God's incredible creation. Of course, that's not what it says in the Holy Scriptures at all, but when you're first joining, I don't know, it's just interesting that the Jehovah's Witnesses teach a spherical Earth, the heliocentric model. It does actually come down to, the reason they were saying it was because the Jehovah's Witnesses don't like the Catholics, or they're highly critical of the Roman Catholic religion, and they wanted an excuse just to say how terrible they were for attacking Galileo for suggesting that the sun Earth goes around the sun. Obviously, if you look at the 6 days of creation, the idea that the Earth was created before the sun kind of throws that one out a little bit. Yes, if any of you were with us at the beginning, you did watch my video about why I accept Genesis' account. If not, maybe I'll put the link in the description. It's a very early video on mine. Yes, speaking of early videos, we are going to play out tonight. I will give Skeptic a chance to find his to find a link if he's got one. Jokerman says the Jehovah's Witnesses are definitely a cult. Yeah, I'm critical of a lot of what they have done and what they've said, and I am. But the people that gave me the study, I'm nothing but thankful to. They spent a lot of time with me. They gave me a lot of biblical literature, and they give out these pamphlets about the Watchtower, they call it, and it's written by elders, or I can't remember. They believe they're the 144,000 that are going to be saved by God, as written about in the book of Genesis. The Jehovah's Witnesses believe that these people will rule as kings with Jesus for 1,000 years, which it does speak about in not Genesis, Revelation. They've they've got some interesting. They make some interesting points. Apparently, they have on a couple of occasions predicted that the Messiah would come back, or that I guess you call it rapture. They don't use the word rapture. They call it, Judgment Day or whatever, but it would have come. They said it would happen in the 1970s. In fact, we'll have a quick look for that. Yeah, by the way, West Coast guy, it's great to have someone from Australia. We've had it's good to know that my content's getting heard far and wide. We've had a couple of, there was someone in the chat, I think either last Sunday or the one before. Also, Michelle from Oz is a regular contributor, so it's good to know. Yeah, you guys are listening down there. I hope things are going well on the West Coast. Although it's surprising to hear, to contemplate just how far apart like the West Coast is to other parts of Australia. I mean, it's one ginormous place, isn't it? What was I going to look up? I can't remember now. Something about the Jehovah's Witnesses. Oh yeah. Jehovah's Witnesses failed predictions. I know they've... Right. A list of all the instances when they've predicted the end of the world or similar failed miserably. In 1877, the Watchtower believed he'd been among us since 74. Yeah, they have in Revelation, it does mention like a time, times and half a time, and they do try and work out what the what time frames they're talking. Apparently the last time they tried to predict it was in the 1970s, I believe. Let's have a quick look. 1916, they foretold the First World War would lead to Armageddon and Christ's kingdom would be established on earth. 1920, 1938, 1942. In 1938, they stopped conceiving children and getting married because they were told Armageddon was looming. They believed that premarital sex would jeopardize their friendship with God. Okay. The Watchtower Society swore that Armageddon was just around the corner in 1942, 4 years after the moratorium on marriages and babies. 1961, that it would arrive before the year 2000. And in 66, they predicted it would meet its wicked end by the year 1975, and I think that they carried on up until 1984. I think what they say now is that I don't know. It was a long time ago I took the study. They do use scripture to back up their claims and their beliefs and stuff. Right. Jokerman says read John chapter 1 in comparison with a regular Bible. Okay. Yeah. Certainly will. And Jeff says tell Jehovah's Witness that every rock used to be an animal. They never come back. Yeah, there are some, incredibly interesting pictures. Whether any of them are photoshopped or whether any of them, Actually, there was quite an interesting channel called Mud Fossil University or something, and he would find rocks and point how they look like parts of blood. Let's see. Mud Fossil University. That's the last thing we're going to do, and then we are going to start wrapping up. Yeah, this is the channel. I will put a link. If you want a bit of practice on getting rid of Jehovah's Witnesses. Again, I don't agree with everything this guy says. He's a globe earther for one thing, but he has put some interesting stuff out. I used to subscribe to him, but I unsubbed for some reason or another. If you wanna, you could always share the link with a Jehovah's Witness next time they come round. But I wouldn't be rude or insulting to any of the people that gave me a witness, as they called it, that spent time trying to convince me, because they were teaching me what they considered to be the truth. I do believe that. Okay. Yeah, here's right, I guess we're going to start wrapping up. Skeptic says 3:30 in here, time to get dinner ready. Thanks, BZ in chat. Yeah, Skeptic, we are just finishing. Tonedale says they claim 144,000 would make it, but changed it completely once they got 144,000 and buried their old pamphlets. Yeah, apparently they now say that only people that are working at their headquarters will... I don't know. Who knows? I'm not going to say they're 100% wrong. Maybe they'll end up being right. Let's not rule that out, yeah? But as always... I often, I thank you guys for tuning in, for supporting us and everything. And I don't always thank God for just blessing us with the opportunity to be here. I say, oh yeah, I'll be back doing another live stream on maybe Tuesday or Thursday. God willing, of course. None of us know, if we are fortunate enough to be around. It sounds a bit pessimistic, of course, but, life... It can all change in the blink of an eye. So massive thanks to God for giving me the opportunity to do these live streams. Along with that, I would like to show my thanks and appreciation to Jokerman, West Coast Guy, Tonedale, Skeptic 936, Susan Byrne. Let's see, Jeff, did I mention? I think I did. Who was in earlier? I know we had Susan with us. I don't know if you're still there. And Nathan Oakley and RJ were around earlier at the start of the stream. If you're still tuned in, that's great. If I have missed anyone, I do apologise. You've still got a couple of minutes. Yeah, West Coast guys, brilliant to have you on the stream, okay? I really appreciate it. Chances are... Tuesday live streams don't tend to happen that often at the minute, but I will certainly be back Thursday. Also, I've done some stuff with Jokerman, who's in the chat tonight. Yeah, we're gonna do another video together very soon. But yeah, if you haven't heard or seen anything from me before, I will certainly be back Thursday 8 PM on this channel. Okay. Also, finally, thanks to Jokerman and Linda Mack for supporting me over on Patreon. Links are in the description to where you can do the same. Also thanks to Nathan, Skeptic, Chris Brown and Sunstar Thunder Lightning for also showing their support to this channel through one method or another. Yeah, I'll just put on screen very quickly, just a couple of ways of doing it. If you're in a position to show your appreciation that way, great. If not, I totally understand. If you want to hit the thumbs up button before you leave tonight, that is always massively appreciated. I am leaving you tonight with a video from that it was the first one I put up on this channel. Yeah, West Coast guy says great to be here, great to have you here, great to have all of you here. Thanks ever so much. Yeah, this was a video. Anyone remember the band The Pixies? They did one called Hang Wires, and I made a video saying, was it anything to do with the ISS? Hopefully this won't get my video banned for copyright. I don't think it will. They're generally okay with it. They might put adverts on, unlikely, I don't know. Hopefully not. Yeah, this is the first video I put up on this channel when I started it back in November 2017. Okay, have a great week, all of you. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you learnt something new. I certainly did. I didn't know Arnold Schwarzenegger's father was in the Nazi. It was a Nazi. Potentially a high-ranking one. Tonedale says, get the book 30 Years a Watchtower Slave. Yeah, I know there are a lot of people who have some unfortunate experiences. But yeah, thanks for the suggestion, Tonedale. And thanks to everyone who's tuned in, especially you guys in the chat. and I'm going to leave you with this video. It's only a couple of minutes long. It's about 2 minutes 7 seconds. It's a music video. Okay, over and out. Good night.
They go